Hey guys, Rob Sambles here from Rob Sambles Photography. So I thought I would do another video. I'm going to do a couple of videos a bit like this. This is a series I'm going to do which is a bit like a what's in my camera bag thing, which I've done before in terms of just kind of talking through my gear, but I thought I would do it specifically related to some of the different things that I do. So this is one that's going to be specifically related to what's in my camera bag for shooting basketball, so for basketball sports photography. Everything from the actual gear to the accessories, lenses, bodies and the whole lot, even really the bag that I tend to use for it. So I'm just going to crack on, go through. It might raise some questions, please feel free to ask those in the comments right there, and we'll see how we get on, alright? So first of all, this is my backpack. Now I don't always just use the backpack for basketball. Sometimes I use the rolling case, which I don't, that's on camera, just off to my left here. It depends where I'm going. So if I'm doing something in London or maybe in a city where I need to travel to it on public transport, I might use the backpack. If I'm going in the car, like a lot of my work is Surrey Scorchers, which is just up the road from me in Guildford, then I'll go in the car with the roller case because it's just easier for me to be able to transport more gear. So I'm going to go through and crack on. So first of all, the bag itself. So this is the backpack. I'll cover the accessories first. So in this front pocket right here, I have a few bits. I have my camera strap. This is just like half a Black Rapid strap. I actually rarely use the strap for basketball because I tend to be sat in one spot on the end of the court, so I just tend to have both the bodies with me with the lenses attached. I rarely use a strap because if anything it gets in the way when I'm sat down on the floor. Normally for basketball I'm sat literally like I am right now with my legs crossed like this, so a strap, if anything gets in the way, I just tend to have the camera sat right in front of me on the floor. Other accessories, I've got my memory card reader in the front. Obviously for reading the memory cards into the laptop. I've also got my hard drive in the front here. I just do that as an extra backup, so the images will go into photo mechanic on the laptop, but then I have the hard drive to back them up before I leave the venue, just so I've got straight away a backup as well as the memory cards of the images that I've taken. What else in the front? My laptop security locking cable. This is just for locking the cable if I have to leave my laptop in a media room or sometimes on the desk. Anyone who followed my Instagram just recently, for example, there was that big old rush and the fans invaded half the court and stuff. They invaded all the media area, so the fact my laptop was locked to the table was something I was pleased for then, for example. A few other random bits, there's a pen in there, got some business cards in this pocket here. I think that's everything in the front, yes it is. So quickly jump to the back. I've got my laptop in the back. It's an Acer 17-inch laptop, fairly simple, but I use that for editing images. I've got photo mechanic on there, Lightroom, FileZilla, which is the FTP server system that I use. So into the actual bag itself. Now, what I will say, guys, this is the general selection of gear I use for basketball. This is what, if someone said, like, what's your standard set of gear for basketball? This is what it would be. Sometimes I use other things. So for example, I might use a remote camera with my 300mm lens, which I might put up high somewhere if I can, or like off high, sort of at the back of a, where the crowd are, so it looks down on the basket or something like that. But that's something quite specific. This is just my standard general set of gear that I will use. So a few accessories we'll cover off first. Memory cards. This is a Think Tank, what's it called? A Think Tank Pixel Pocket Rocket, which is like a fold-up thing which just holds a load of memory cards in it. That's there. I've got a little cleaning kit in there. I've got a couple of spare batteries in there as well, which I use. I've then got a little thing with roll-up, so it's a pen and also has a roll-up of gaffer tape on it, which is handy. I use that for various bits with my remote camera, which I'll get onto in a second. So the bodies, I've got two bodies in here. I've got my Canon 7D Mark II, and then this is my Canon 7D Mark I. Now actually this, literally in a couple of days, because I've already bought it, will become a second 7D Mark II. And I'm actually selling this one on eBay right now, guys. So if you guys check out eBay, I tell you what, in the description of the video I'll put a link to this camera on eBay because it's actually selling right now. Those are the two bodies. I've got the grips on both of them. Basketball predominantly, I find, is largely a vertical shooting sport. I don't know why, that's probably a separate video, but I just tend to shoot a hell of a lot of basketball in vertical, so I use the battery grip all the time. Really useful for shooting basketball. So 7D Mark II, 7D Mark I. The lenses, so probably, and I've said this before in my previous videos, my go-to lens for basketball is this. This is my 50mm f1.8 STM lens. Really good in low light because it's got the f1.8. I never really shoot at 1.8. I'm normally like f2.5, 2.8 for basketball. But this is one of my favourite ever lenses for basketball. 50mm I find perfect length on a crop sensor for shooting basketball. Then got the wider angle. This is my Sigma 18-35. I use this for wider angle shots. Basketball, you get some cool stuff in wider angle. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll share one of my wider angle images as an example into the video right now, so I'll stop the dip for you now. So that's a wider angle shot, which I shot with this lens, with this 18-35mm lens. I also use this for my remote camera, which I'll get onto in a second. The other lens I've got in here is my Canon 70-200 lens. Good lens for basketball. Now, generally speaking, I will use, my combination will normally be this lens on one body and then my 50mm on the other body if I'm sat more towards the corner of the court. During the time when I'm sat much closer in, like under the basket or right near the basket, I tend to switch. I find I have less use for the longer lens, and then I go with the 50mm and the wide angle because I'm right in under the basket, and I find that works a bit better. You can use, in fact, that photo which I showed up just now, you see that was more from the corner of the court, so you can use wide angle from the corner too. It depends. Now I've also got in here my set of triggers. I use this for my floor remote camera, and also a random little tool which I created myself. This is 2 AA batteries duct taped together to create this kind of tube. If you guys watch my remote camera for basketball, floor remote camera, you will know exactly what this is for. And that's when I would tape that to the bottom of the camera, that leans at an angle like that, wide angle, triggers, bump, 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 and that's my remote camera. So you guys, there's a video for that, guys, on my channel right there. You can find that if you want to and have a look. And that's it, guys. That's my gear that I use to shoot basketball. Like I said, sometimes I use other bits. Before now, I have used my 10mm to 22mm for basketball when I've been really like right in under the basket. I used my 300mm for some high-up shots before now as well. There's a few different bits you can get, and I'll talk about that in another video when I do like alternate shooting positions for basketball. But this is what's in my camera bag to shoot a basketball event. I'm going to do another one just like this for football at some point. Hopefully you guys will find it interesting too. If you like the video, please give me the thumbs up. My Instagram, Twitter, everything else is going to come across the screen in a minute. Let me know what you think, guys. Give me the comments, everything else. Always appreciate it. Thank you very much. See you soon.